Chapter 1, Our Earth and our Solar System. Heavenly Bodies. All the bodies in the sky are called heavenly bodies. The sun and the moon are comparatively close to the earth, so we can see their round shapes clearly. We also see other stars, planets. These are all known as heavenly bodies. Try this. If we observe the sky on 2 clear nights, keeping a gap of about 1 week between them, we observe following things. The stars show brightness. They are round in shape. Some appear big and brilliant, while some are small and dim. The stars show bright or dim light. That means they twinkle. Their positions change. According to full moon day or new moon day, the illuminated portion of the moon, that is phases of moon, increases or decreases. Stars. The heavenly bodies that twinkle are called stars. Stars have their own light. The sun. The sun is a star. It is closer to us than any of the other stars. Hence, it appears big and bright. In its bright light during the day, we cannot see other stars. Planets. The heavenly bodies that do not twinkle are called planets. Planets do not have light of their own. They get light from the stars. Planets revolve around a star even as they rotate around themselves. The solar system. Our Earth is a planet. It gets its light from the sun. It moves around the sun. Its movement around the sun is called the revolution of the earth. Besides Earth, there are 7 other planets that revolve around the sun. They are Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Every planet in the solar system revolves around the sun along a specific path. This path is known as the planet's orbit. The sun, which is a star, and the planets that revolve around it are together called the solar system. Solar system also includes various other heavenly bodies. Other heavenly bodies in the solar system. Satellites. Some heavenly bodies revolve around planets. These are called satellites. Satellites too get their light from the sun. The moon revolves around the earth, hence it is called a satellite of the earth. Most of the planets in the solar system have satellites. The planets revolve around the sun along with their satellites. Dwarf planets. There are some smaller heavenly bodies that revolve around the sun. They are called dwarf planets. Of these, the most well known is Pluto. Dwarf planets revolve independently around the sun. They have an orbit of their own. Asteroids. Between the planets Mars and Jupiter, there is a band of numerous small heavenly bodies. They are called asteroids. Asteroids also revolve around the sun. Compared to the sun, other heavenly bodies in the solar system are much smaller. The moon is closest to the earth. That is why it appears to be so big, although it is actually very much smaller than the sun. The moon is seen full in size on a full moon night. The planets, satellites, dwarf planets and asteroids are all part of the solar system. Can you tell? By looking at the picture of solar system, we can see the following things. The planet nearest to the sun is Mercury. The earth is at the 3rd position from the sun. The planet between the earth and Mercury is Venus. The planets beyond the orbit of Mars in serial order are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, which is a dwarf planet. The planet in the solar system which is farthest from the sun, Neptune. Gravity. All heavenly bodies exert a force of attraction or a pull on one another. This force is called the force of gravity. The sun exerts a gravitational pull on all planets, whereas the tendency of the planets is to move away from the sun. As a result of these two forces, a planet keeps revolving around the Sun at a fixed distance in a fixed orbit. In the same way, satellites revolve around their planets. In which direction do these things fall? Leaves, flowers, fruits fall from a tree towards the ground, that is, the earth. Rocks that come loose from a hillside fall towards the earth. Rain fall from the sky towards the earth. Due to the earth's gravity, all things on the earth remain on it. Even if we throw something upwards with great force, it finally falls down to the ground. Space. The emptiness between and beyond the stars and planets is called space or outer space. Space launch technology. People have always been curious about the heavenly bodies in the sky. They have always wanted to reach them. However, to send some object from the earth into space, it must be given power against the force of gravity. For that purpose, rocket technology or space launch technology is used. Diwali rockets. One of the Diwali firecrackers is called a rocket. It is packed with explosive substances. The explosives burn rapidly and produce a lot of energy. The design of the rocket is such that the firecracker is pushed in a certain direction at a great speed, sending a spacecraft into space. Very powerful rockets are used to send a spacecraft into space. A tremendous quantity of fuel is burnt in rockets so that spacecraft weighing thousands of tons can be launched into space. In the 20th century, a few countries of the world developed space technology and sent hundreds of spacecraft into space. Our country is well known for the development of its space launch technology. Some spacecraft remain in space. Some are brought back to Earth, while some land on other planets or satellites. In some missions, scientists also travel in the spacecraft. They are called astronauts. India's space missions. On 22nd October 2008, the Indian Space Research Organization (ISRO) launched a spacecraft to the moon. The mission is known as Chandrayaan-1. Mangalayaan is another important Indian space mission. It is known as MOM or Mars Orbit Mission. It was launched on 5th November 2013. It got established in an orbit around the planet Mars on 24th September 2014. ISRO achieved this feat in its first attempt. Both these missions are unmanned, that is, there were no people on board of these spacecraft. The objective of the missions is a deeper study of the Moon and Mars. Indian astronaut Rakesh Sharma became the first Indian astronaut to go into space in 1984. He spent 8 days on a space station for a joint mission of the ISRO and the Soviet Intercosmos. Seeing India from space, he said that it looked "Sare jahan se acha." Kalpana Chawla and Sunita Williams, astronauts of Indian origin. Man-made satellites. Man-made satellites provide useful information for agriculture, environment, weather forecasting, making maps and searching for water and mineral wealth on the earth. They are also used for telecommunication. They are put into orbit around the earth. They can remain in space for many years. Earth, an invaluable planet. Space scientists have not yet been able to find a single other planet which has life on it. Therefore, our Earth is an invaluable planet. The degradation of its environment for any reason will be a threat to the existence of life itself.